And they go down here and they make a basket. That's it. That's perfect. Hold that pose. There you go. And they're down here. What would y'all do if your teammates just made like the game-winning basket? They're clapping. Come here, you guys. Come here. Yeah, holding the pose. They're like, yeah, I did that. You know. But then this team, while you're celebrating, head back this way. Fast break, fast break. This team heads back while y'all celebrating. Go ahead and celebrate. Makes an easy basket. Now they win the game because this team was so busy celebrating, they forgot they was in a fight. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's exactly how that looks. Thank you. We are so busy. And yes, you should celebrate when you have breakthroughs. Yes. But we need to be preparing because they're not going to just go away like, oh, they beat me. Okay, let's just roll over here. No, they're coming back. They're coming back strong. They're coming back with a strategy, and you're still celebrating. You're forgetting you're in a fight. And by the time you realize that you're in a fight or that they've came back or that this attack is happening, it's too late. It kind of reminds me of, and I'm going to call my sister-in-law out. I won't call your name. I'm not going to even look at you. Like conversations I have with her, she's always, because of the agency I work for, she is always like questioning me about, like terrorists. I heard this about terrorists, and I heard this about government conspiracy, and I heard this about, the Antichrist. And a lot of this stuff, I'm really, really, like by the time you hear it, it's been so long in the works, it's too late. And a lot of the stuff you're saying, it's true, but by the time you hear it, it's too late. I'm going to give you an example. Everybody's heard of, like, the mark of the beast in the Bible? Everybody? Go like this. Okay, everybody's heard of that. And you've heard of them saying possibly they'll use chips. They'll put the chips in your hand or in your forehead. You heard that? Have y'all heard that rumor? You young people know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Fellas back there, y'all know what I'm talking about? Okay. So by the time you hear about it, it's already here. They already have chips that they use in pet. They start out with pets. They're using them in criminals to kind of monitor behavior. Now imagine this with me. What happens when they go to parents, not necessarily in here, but in the world, and they start using fear tactics? Like, if you put a chip in your baby, if they're ever kidnapped, you'll be able to find them. How many parents you think are going to jump on that bandwagon? Yeah, can you see that happening? Or, because fear, which God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but because of fear tactics, that's coming. And then if you're putting it in your kids, well, what about us? I love you. You love me. You don't want anything to happen to me. So if you get a chip, then I'll be able to find you if something ever happens to you. Because people are acting out of fear. By time it happens, it's too late. There's nothing you can do. I got an email earlier in the week, and I went ahead and put that in here just so that you'll know. You was inquiring about some surveillance techniques. So I did get it, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. Let me just say real quick, if you're not ready when God calls you, you're in trouble. But if you're still here when the rapture comes and you miss it, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, because the word said there's going to be no hiding place. And if you think about it, look on every street corner. You got cameras on every street corner, whether it's in the traffic, on the traffic poles, on store buildings, ATM machines. There's not going to be a hiding place. And one person even said, well, what about if I hide in my house? They have infrared. It can sense your body temperature. It can tell how many people's in the house. And so the email I got was asking about surveillance of sound. They have a laser beam that they use for surveillance. And what it does is, let's say, and I'm not scientific, so I don't really know how it works, but when you speak, it creates like a vibration, and the vibration is in different objects. So let's say it gets in a picture on a wall, that vibration. They can point a laser beam, they can be blocks away, point a laser beam through your window, and it'll feed off that picture And then that vibration, when it goes back to the receiver, it turns it into an audible sound. So they can hear your conversation miles away. So don't miss the rapture, because there's no hiding place. And if you can't, think about this, if you can't serve God now, when it's free, when you have a choice, you don't have people hunting you. You don't have people they're not taking your credit card bills or statements and seeing what you've purchased. Okay, this one's a believer, they bought a Bible, we're hunting you down. You don't have that right now. If you can't serve God now, if you miss the rapture, it's a wrap. So that was for free. That was for free, you guys. Just don't miss the rapture. But going back to preparing. In order to prepare, would you agree we first have to know what we're fighting against? Would everybody agree with that? Right? Okay. And have you ever heard the saying, knowledge is power? It is. If you haven't heard that, knowledge is power. That's why young people, we're pressing you to get good grades in school and get in your books, because knowledge is power. Once you have that, can't nobody take that from you. Knowledge is power. Okay, so get your pens and paper out. We're going to go back to prepare. They're coming back. What's coming back? The demons, or spirits, they're called demons, and strongholds. And these are two different things. Take notes. Two different things. A stronghold is, one, an area of weakness that Satan attacks. That's one. Two, when you open the door and allow him in. Three, through disobedience or sin. So stronghold is that area of weakness that Satan can enter in through because you're being disobedient through sin. Once you open the door, Satan and his spirits begin to control you. That's how they take control of you. They're two different things. The spirit that controls you is like the force behind it. It's controlling everything. And then the stronghold would be like the symptom that people see. That's the symptom. They're like little spirits, little demons. Example, an addiction, that's a stronghold. You can see when people are addicted. That's a stronghold. But the spirit controlling that addiction, that's a spirit of bondage. You have self-righteousness. That's just a symptom. Like you see it on people, you're like, something else is there. But if you have self-righteousness or arrogance, that's a spirit. The spirit that's controlling it is pride. Then you have, for instance, like phobias, or people have night terrors. That's just a symptom. That's just the stronghold that's got hold of you. But the spirit controlling that would be fear. And we have to recognize the demonic activity and what strongholds are. There's many different strongholds, but they all have like 4 things in common. The first thing is they're stubborn. They're stubborn. So you can't get them out or break the hold with religious activity. So if you go to a church just for their praise and worship and their dinner buffet afterwards, there's no strongholds being broken there, because they're not broken by religious activity, and it's nothing that you can break by yourself. It's spiritual. So they're stubborn. Number 2, they're irrational. It'll have you doing things that don't make sense, things that are clearly cutting your life, that are killing you, that are destroying your health. They're irrational, like smoking, or just living a risky life. You're doing this stuff and you can't control it, but it's irrational. It's a stronghold. The third thing, they're uncontrollable. So that's what happens is a behavior will start and it becomes a habit. Like you might just do it once or twice, and then that's that area of weakness. You do it once or twice, and before you know it, that behavior becomes a habit, and it's got control of you. Now you can't control it if you wanted to. You don't got control anymore because that spirit is controlling it. Does this make sense? This isn't too... Okay, and saints, I'm going to need prayer, and intercessory prayer is like the strongest weapon against the devil. So I'm feeling the spirits, and saints, I'm going to need you to intercede and pray while I'm giving this message. Pray with me. The fourth thing is that these strongholds are counterproductive. So, for instance, this is how they trick you. You'll think you're doing it for good. For instance, you'll think you're doing it so you can sleep better or just to relieve the stress. And then it ends up controlling you. It's counterproductive. You think you're doing it for good, but it's really working against you. All strongholds have that in common. Now let's look at the spirits. Everybody has a spirit. Everybody has a spirit. We're body, soul, and spirit. So either you have the Holy Spirit living in you, or you have a demonic spirit living in you. It's one or the other, right? If everybody got a spirit, one's holy, one's not. If you don't got the Holy Spirit, what you got living in you? It's not rocket science, okay? The Holy Spirit, let's look at the hierarchy first. You have Satan, and people are always like, Satan's doing this, Satan's doing this. He's not worried. Satan's not spending no time with you. You don't got no prayer life or nothing. You're not even on. He wouldn't spend his time messing with you. You're not important enough. Because you have Satan, and then you have his generals, and those are kind of like high-ranking spirits, and they're called strongmen spirits. So these general spirits, or these high-ranking spirits, they can control like geographical areas, because this is in the spiritual realm. They can control churches. They can control family, like generations. That's why you see like maybe like alcoholism passing from generation to generation, sexual abuse passing from generation to generation, because you have this general strongman spirit that's controlling that. Okay, so then under the strongman, you have demons or little spirits, and they work in the earthly realm. And they're the ones that's trying to destroy you and frustrate you and stop your spiritual growth. But this strong man is just controlling it all. Okay. Spirits enter, we already said, through areas of weakness. We open the door. We open the door through disobedience and sin. You allow them access. And sometimes, I'll give you this, sometimes you might allow this spirit access and you don't even know it, because they can come in your house through objects. You have certain music playing. There's a spirit behind that. It's coming in your house. You can have a painting on your wall. And to you, oh, it's just a peace sign. Isn't that so pretty? But little do you know, the artist who drew that was a Satan worshiper, and it's really a broken cross hanging on your wall. So now you've just let in the spirit of the Antichrist. See how that works? So sometimes you have to let the access. You brought it in. You the one who went and got it on sale. You let it in, but you have to give the devil access. He doesn't have the kind of power just to come overtake you unless you let him do it. Okay, and that gives... I love telling stories, so I'm going to tell this one. There was a youth worker at a church we were going to, and we had learned about, just the different spirits behind some of our kids' favorite artists. And so the kids were really wanting to get delivered. And so they're like, yeah, we're going to go home, and we're going to get rid of all this music. And one of the youth workers who had kids was like, well, I'm telling my kids that we'll just put it under their bed. You don't got to get rid of it, because sometimes it's kind of hard, just to go cold turkey. So instead of throwing out those demonic spirits, material music, let's just put it under your bed. Let me get this straight. You're putting access, this is access, under your kid's bed? You're giving these spirits access to your kid's bedroom? Really? You're a youth worker? Get rid of it. Anything that doesn't glorify God, get rid of it. And this even hit home for me. A few years ago, I love music. I love all kind of music. Rock, country, gospel, right? It doesn't matter. I love music. And when I used to work out, like I needed some music that was going hard. Like, yeah. I'm not going to name any particular ones because I don't even want to give it the glory. But when I came home, like after working out, I just had like a rageful, like I'd lash out at my husband or just a rebellious spirit. And when I learned that there's spirits behind all this music, yeah, I'm saved, but I'm listening to all this secular music when I'm working out. There's a stronghold in my life. And as soon as I got rid of that, it took fasting and praying and asking for deliverance from that. I got rid of every single secular song, if it even sounded like